I wasn't sure about doing a voiceover for this because a lot of it is kind of self-explanatory. If you watch my motions, I think you'll learn a lot more. But here we go. I am just taking my favorite foundation, which is the Giorgio Armani Maestro foundation, and dotting it all over my face and using my damp, clean beauty blender to blend it in. Using stippling, patting motions rather than stroking motions keeps the foundation from being wiped off. And now I'm taking my Burberry concealer that is slightly lighter than my skin tone and using it to highlight. This gives your face a little bit more dimension. Doing that jawline area can kind of give the illusion of a more sculpted cheekbone because everything on top then looks a little bit darker. Now I'm going in with a concealer that is about my skin tone and just covering up some blemishes. So this is the color correcting version of the YSL Touche Eclat pen, and this is the violet one, which is meant to brighten up the skin, so I'm using it as a sort of translucent extra highlight layer. And now I am using my Well People Bio Brightening Powder to bake under my eyes, on my nose, and under my, and on my jawline area. I like to do this because it prevents any sort of creasing underneath my eyes and helps my makeup last a lot longer. And now I'm just filling in my brows. I am using a gel style brow product, and I am filling in my natural brow but also going a little bit above, and I am also extending the tail of my brow a little bit. And if you want to see a more in-depth brow tutorial, let me know in the comments down below because I can definitely film that for you. To further carve out my brows and make them a little bit crisp, I used that same YSL pen and just drew around my brows, and I'm using a beauty blender and my fingers to blend it out.
Lay down your slow. Come settle down, settle down. Let loose your glow. Come settle down, settle down. And I feel like for the very first time, love in my arms and the sun in my eyes. I feel safe in the 5 a.m. light. You carry my fears as the heavens set fire. Jump into the heat.
So for eyeshadow, I have decided to do this rusty kind of brick look, and I am going into my Pony Effects makeup palette. All of the products will be listed down below, by the way. And I am using this corally orangey color as my base. And then I am going in with a matte white color to highlight my brow bone from this limited edition Tarte palette, but you can find similar colors in other palettes. And then I'm using a kind of milky beigey brown to just soften out the orange and blend it out a bit, and then going back in with my Pony Effects palette in a dark maroony red and going underneath my eyes and a little bit on the outer edges. And now I'm just taking a shimmery light shade and highlighting the inner corners of my eyes. And I am also taking my finger and just highlighting the center parts of my lids. And this is a Tom Ford palette. You can use any sort of matte, dark color. This is a purpley color. And I'm just using it to add some depth to the outer edges of my eyes and a little bit in the inner corner areas as well. Spinning on my feet in a technicolor beat, you and me, caught up in a tree in a technicolor beat. And from this point on, I am just layering and blending the same colors that I've been using. So I will show you every time I switch a color, but you can just see that I just continue to add more intensity to the outer edges especially, and focus on blending to keep it soft. So I just tight-lined my eyes with a waterproof black eyeliner pencil, and that gives the lash a fuller look, and I always do that, especially when I don't use false lashes. And this is the mascara trio that I have been loving recently, and it's just the Diorshow primer, followed by the waterproof Diorshow mascara on my top lashes, and then on my bottom lashes I use brown mascara to keep it a little bit softer and more natural looking. And then I'm just finishing up my eyes with a liquid eyeliner duo. These are both of the Kat Von D liquid eyeliners in Trooper, which is her black shade. I have it in the felt tip and in the brush tip, and I like to use both. I find that the brush tip one gives a much more defined, pointed line, but the felt tip is a little bit easier to fill in larger spaces and gives it an even blacker finish. So I like to use two liquid eyeliners, and it sort of seems like an extra step, but for me it makes the application process a lot easier. I am contouring with my Well People contouring cream stick and using my beauty blender to blend it in. If you want a more in-depth explanation of how or why I contour the way that I do, or how I contour my nose, let me know and I can do that as well. I really like to use cream contours because they blend in and give a very natural finish, but sometimes they are a pain to blend with the beauty blender. This one can be a little bit sticky, but I do like it a lot.
I knew the meaning right away. Only yesterday we're worlds apart. I got this name for you. If you come closer, I can whisper in your ear. And if you wanna walk away, I'll tell you all the things I know you wanna hear. Come closer to you if you come over. I know we go further with you, I'm in for forever in my mind, only you. The pieces in my life go away with you. Forever in my mind, only you. The pieces in my life run away with you. You're my first love. You're my first love.
Okay, I tried to use this dark Chanel pencil that I've had forever, and as you can see, it's so dry and it's barely getting on my lips, and I wanted to have a dark lip look, but it just wasn't working. So first, as you can see, I just worked as much of the product as I could into my lips, and then I used a lip brush to try to blend it in as much as possible. And then what you can see me doing here is I'm dipping my lip brush into a pot of lip balm, and I am then using the lip balm as a medium to soften and work with the dry, dead lip pencil. And it gives a much softer look, and now I'm just blotting it off and going back in with the brush to just blend everything out a little bit more. And I decided to keep it as soft as a dark lip can be and use tissues to wipe around the edges a little bit to just give it more of a faded look around the edges. And then I'm going back in with a brush just to continue blending. It's kind of like eyeshadow. Using dark eyeshadows, you have to keep blending, and then I'm just topping it with a little bit more lip balm to add some extra juiciness, moisture. And that is how I work with bad, dead lip liner.